Garrett. I just kind of want to ask about how it was you got involved with this project, Barron Coves, because it's such a unique and interesting story. What was kind of your reaction when you read the script for the first time, and what kind of made you want to play this character?
Well, I was reading the script and my son was just nearing 2 years old and it, it started off pretty extreme, but then I saw a father that was just trying to do for once in his life everything right just for his son, and that was something that I could relate to.
Sure.
Um, Towards the end of the script, there was something that was answered to Caleb, my character, that was so tender. Something that an officer tells him, um, and it made me realize that the underbelly of Caleb throughout this whole film and on his journey of revenge was really just so vulnerably wondering if he was enough.
Mhm.
If he
Mhm.
was enough of a father, and this is a man that's done some severely distorted things and those things have haunted him and he carries a lot of guilt for those things. And he didn't want them to repeat, certainly not for his son. And I just thought that was so tender and unique that I wanted to explore that in this film.
Mhm.
Um, And it posed the question to me, just as I'm sure it will to the audience, of um, how far will you go for your child? How far is too far when you think you're right? Um, how far is too far when it comes to revenge? How far is too far involving guilt? What is the cost of carrying guilt, and what does it take to let it go? It was a unique palette to play with.
Sure, totally, totally. And I kind of loved that exploration, and it kind of jumps into what I wanted to ask you next is Caleb is not like a very happy guy throughout a lot of this movie. Like his life starts out, at least when the movie starts, like things are kind of not going great, and then like the movie kicks in and we kind of learn some things, we see some things, and like it just kind of his whole trajectory just kind of gets worse and worse. So I'm just kind of wondering, was that like challenging at all for you as an actor? Like, did you have to take yourself to a certain like mind space to really get into character to play Caleb?
Well, considering the events, I feel it's all quite justified,
Mm,
quite justifiable. I wanted it to be an exhausting ride. Yeah, I wanted to feel exhausted. I would complain to Evan if there was ever a night that I got good sleep. Um, it's just you want to give it all. If there was a reason for you to commit your time to something creatively such as this or to sacrifice anything you want to give it your all. I want to give it my all. um and I was really taken by Evan Kellman, our wonderful writer director. I thought uh for his age he had written something not only so articulate and intelligent and wise. All of the characters, all of their particular storylines, the themes within the film. I just wanted to go on this journey with him. I've worked with a lot of first-time directors, and I always had a similar belief in them, or I was inspired by what I thought they could do or what they thought they could do, and I wanted to help make it come to fruition, because I've been in that situation, hoping somebody would give me a chance or looking for your break, or I wanted to go on this journey with Evan.
sure.
Yeah.
Totally, totally. And kind of that just I loved Evan's script so much because I felt like it was so full of surprises. Like when the first act in the movie, the first third, I was just like, okay, this terrible, terrible thing happened to your character's son. He's gonna go like full John Wick and get revenge, and the movie's not that. But then like the second act kicks in, I'm like, okay, he's going to kidnap this other kid, and then like it's gonna be a kidnapping kind of movie where they're on the run. And it's really kind of not that either. Like I love a movie that can just fool me full of surprises like this. And this one I could never figure out where it was going. So was that something like, was there anything about this movie that kind of surprised you, like in the directions that it took, or anything that you kind of learned about yourself throughout playing this character and all the different twists and turns that happen?
Yeah, I think it lends itself to keeping you at the edge of your seat because you're constantly trying to figure out within yourself who the villain is. Is it the boy that hurt the boy? Is it the man that kidnapped the boy? Is it the man that's after the man? Or is it the system that failed the man? Um, I think those questions um, are what bring a story with such guilt, sorrow, and ultimately redemption to life.
Sure.
They can be as frustrating and vengeful and rageful as trauma can in its own right.
Mhm.
Um, and Caleb was a man that was filled with a great deal of trauma to start the film. He was already running from his guilt and his trauma, and now he's lost something so valuable. Um, um, it's like, geez, what worse can happen? And it continues to unpeel itself more. You continue to get the rug pulled from under you. Um, I think that compiles a wonderful and gripping story and a gripping thriller.
Totally, totally, totally. And just one last question I wanted to ask you, Garrett, is you got this one moment that's it's just a short little scene. I think it's towards the end of the movie when you're kind of just standing in front of a bathroom mirror, your character is crying, and he just keeps saying, like, I can't over and over. And it was one of my favorite moments of the whole movie because it's so simple, but it's so powerful, and your acting like really carries that kind of whole moment. So is that like something that's like difficult to do? Like, is it harder to do a scene like that when it's like just you looking at yourself in the mirror versus having other actors to like act off?
No, I enjoy all of that. I mean, look, over the years, I've been thrown some curveballs ever since my first film. When you're dealing with films with special effects, I mean, the obstacles are half the time you're just working with a tennis ball on a pole
Right.
and a bunch of green screen. And so the obstacles of imagination have been ever so prevalent, and um, I th I think what was for that particular scene was to watch a man that was essentially saying, "I can't go on, I can't go on. I have no more in me to continue this fight. I have no more." And then he's reminded by the wallpaper of his son and remembers who this whole fight was about, and it's no longer in this very moment about him or what he wants to do. It takes all of the I out of it and remembers that this whole mission was about the boy, and to find answers for his son. And so when you take I out of yourself and make it about somebody else, it's a miracle, the strength that one can um, gather in an instant like that. I mean, he was so beat down and injured and fatigued at that moment, but it's that kind of strength that's like the mother that lifts the car for the baby underneath.